We're gonna get hammered now.
Who cares? We're gonna work out anyways. A leg workout.
We're not gonna work out.
We're
I'm
not.
gonna take a nap.
You're not taking a nap.
I'm gonna take a nap while you work out.
This video's gonna keep going.
I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm gonna record it while she's taking a nap and
That's
be creepy
fine.
about it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be comped.
You're not gonna be calm. You'll be working out. We've got a couple hours. So. It's only 6:30. It's only 6.
Oh, I'm fucked, babe.
It's 6.
I'm completely fudged.
Oh no, we got 3 hours. You're gonna be doing a leg workout.
I'm not gonna be good.
Yeah. You won't.
I'm gonna give up then.
You're not gonna give up.
Ryan's workouts are fucking, oh my god, I don't even know what to say about them. They're fucking horrific. They're hell worthy.
It's a good thing about being a personal trainer for like 3 years, and a master personal trainer by that. I have a very huge repertoire of kind of workout that will F you up severely, but you'll be in shape real quick.
Hey, one of his buzzwords is also severely. We're not gonna we're not gonna drink because I just added it, but he says severely all the time. What, babe? You have a lot of buzzwords.
Severely.
Severe, babe. You're the only person I know who says severely. Like that, casually, normally, daily.
On a daily level. I'm
Daily
just gonna use
fucking
the word
level, yeah.
all the time.
Yes.
For what?
All of these words, you use these every day. How about Ryan daily buzzwords?
Daily buzzwords. She's saying that I'm gonna
He says
repeat them on a daily level now.
Daily basis. You couldn't last a day without saying condescending. He's laughing. Because you know, you will. At least one point of the fucking day, Ryan will say condescending. He will call something condescending. He will say that the gods are treating him condescendingly.
Let's get into that.
Let's get into how the gods have been treating Ryan. How have they been treating you, babe?
Oh, shit. They don't favor me.
Well, do you believe it's because you're not favored, or do you believe that there's a deeper meaning behind the things you're going through?
Oh, trial by fire is what she's trying to say, is that I'm going through things that normal people would never be able to handle, not on even in a 10-year lifespan. So it's probably more of that, and I'm just internalizing most of my shit, which who wouldn't at that point when you forgot that many L's, right? Like you've been taking so many losses. Like my mom died during the pandemic, so 2021 we lost her in January, and then my dad, we sold the house and moved in September of last year, and he was doing decent. He broke a hip. He was in rehab facility for about a month, and then I got him into the house that we're at right now, and then just recently we lost him, and it was before Paulina came into my life, and it's kind of, it hurts because that story is a real touchy story because he was doing okay. My ex-mother-in-law was taking care of him. She's CNA. She's a great person, by the way. He was okay. She had just left. I had the kids over, and he had a heart attack. When we were all busy upstairs doing chores, came down and found him crashing, and so I did CPR, and then I was on the phone, which I don't know why 911 would cut me off in midstream and send me to the sheriff's department in mid-heart attack. Yeah.
They did that?
Yeah, and so sheriff's department took another 2 minutes while I'm doing CPR, and the sheriff got here in 40 seconds, which he was phenomenal, amazing, except for, I won't say his name, but he was thrown up in the bushes because I threw up on my face, and my dad, when I was doing chest compressions, he had already thrown up from the heart attack. He was going all over, and he was still sort of with us. You could tell there was color, and he was still sort of with us. So we had to drag him outside because the bedroom in there is not very big, so we had to drag him in the front. By the time we dragged him, my son and daughter had seen him while he was passing, and there's about 2 paramedic units out there plus AMR, and everyone was working on him to do everything we can, but it was too late. He was already gone at that point. But it's nothing like doing CPR on your own father to fully understand the gravitation of life and death at the same time, and how fragile life can be. It's kind of very, I would say it's twisted almost.
Mm-hmm.
It's twisted, and I would say for most people it's traumatic, but for me it was kind of a closure. It was kind of good because it was a closure. And then a month after that, I had to do everything for the funeral, so I had to do everything to get this house ready and sell his house. I had to do everything to get him over here. I had to help clean and cook for him and everything, and then I had to do his funeral. And it was okay, but there was a good long duration where I had a bout of binging alcohol for a while, and that was just kind of, the loss kind of hit me too hard. 2 losses too soon. It was just, it's eye-opening for you, right? Like you have both your parents die within a year of each other. It's it's just
not fun.
The best way I can describe it is it mentally fucks you beyond repair, and you can't recover from it. It's just not something that normally you're like, oh hey, I'm okay now. I just took some drugs. I'm okay. No, it's you don't get over it. It doesn't go away.
It doesn't for a while. Because my it's funny that he has a 1 year apart passing away story. I do too. My grandpa passed away in 2020, 21 during COVID as well. And we were trying to send his body to the Philippines, but we couldn't do that because COVID, and they don't want to transfer bodies during COVID. So he passed away first. Then a year later, my grandma too. And I guess that's 2021 then, because she passed away. No, almost 2020. COVID, December.
Okay.
And it's not fun. You don't get over that shit. You remember things that happened months after, years after, a year after even, and it just never really goes away.
So I got to ask you this question. So before I ask you this question, I'm going to go on this. So my dad had been talking what looked like to entities.
Yes.
A whole 2 weeks previous to the incident.
Passing away.
Even the CNA said that she caught him talking to multiple different entities and spirits.
Spirits, I think.
We'll use spirits, but different spirits and different kind of conversations. And so, you know, my observation on that is I think you see the dead before you're going to die, and you know you're going to die. But the fucked up thing is, neither of my parents would tell me that they were going to die. They told other people. But I was the go-to person for everything. I did everything, right? So I'm wondering if it's this thing like, oh, Ryan had too much on his plate, so just don't tell him. Or, I mean, it would have been nice to know that. Do you think that that's one of the processes of dying? Would you say, I would say the process of dying, you see the dead before you die.
I think they definitely let you know it's coming soon, because when you said it right there, my grandma, well, she was older, she was like in her 80s, she had dementia, onset dementia, cancer, she was slowly dying, but she was constantly talking to nobody.
Like, what looked like nobody to us.
Like nobody.
Because we can't see him, right?
But there were a lot of occasions where, there was actually this time I left her alone with a friend, right?
Yeah.
And I had to go do something with my aunt, and then I go back to my friend, and he tells me, hey, your grandma just said something like, hey, aren't you Paulina's friend who doesn't have a dad? And I was like, what the fuck? And then, my friend at the time was like, well, did you tell your grandma that I don't have a dad? And I was like, no, I didn't tell her shit. She didn't tell you.
Wow.
So my grandma picked up, maybe saw a spirit, but that friend of mine dad's passed away, so it was funny that she said that at all. So I feel like maybe the dead dad was up there in the spirit.
I had to have been there, like the ancestors come to you, I know that. Yeah. There's also videos about the ancestors coming to you, right?
Right before, like your friend, your family.
The DMT process, they come to you right before that DMT. Or in transgression too.
Yeah, my grandma would always call for my grandpa in her sleep, say his name. She would say her sister's name who passed away a long time ago. Yeah. They would say old people's names who they knew when they were alive.
Don't you think it's interesting to know that our brain, when you're on the verge of dying, you know, right? Yeah. Like, because he was always into movies, my dad. And so that whole week, he was acting really odd, and I should have picked up on the cues, but I had so much I had to do for him that the CNA told me only after he had died. So there was a point where we might have been able to save him, but probably not, because the heart attack came just suddenly, and it didn't matter. It would have happened in another junction,
No,
right?
yeah. No,
So he loved movies. He would just sit and watch movies. He loved movies. And it didn't matter if it's trash boat movie,
yeah,
right?
I love trash movies.
He just loved to watch and sit and enjoy the ambience of people. And the last week he didn't do it. He would he would stare out the windows and look at the birds.
Telling you.
But he wouldn't tell me
His
anything.
behavior tells you.
But he needed to convey because I had so much to do.
I didn't know. It was whatever was gonna happen was gonna happen.
No, it was meant to. And then my mom, I remember I tried to get a hold of her because I had a falling out with my youngest brother because I'm the middle child. Excessive drug use, meth, LSD.
He said
marijuana.
excessive.
God damn it!
Excessive drugs.
Anyways, it said anyways. God.
That's not one of your words, baby.
Anyways,
No, you're
No,
safe.
usually-
You're safe. You're safe.
he'd been on a bender for like 2 weeks and pulled a knife on me. Tried to stab me in front of my 2 kids. This is like 2 weeks before my mom died.
What?
Yeah. So this is like whole thing before. No. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
2
right, I
weeks. Yeah,
remember
because
that.
I had the kids over at that time.
Holy shit.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is 4 months before. I was thinking of a different incident. So,
Still.
cops had called out and they tried to arrest me
Mhm.
because they couldn't find the weapon, thought I was lying. Right. So we left, and I told my mom. I said, "I'm never coming over again.
Mhm.
I can't trust him. I said you need to kick him out."
Uh-huh.
And so she couldn't make the decision. So she made the decision for herself
Yeah.
to enable my piece of garbage trash boat
Trash
brother.
boat.
So I wouldn't let them see the kids. So she finally came back around. It took her 2 months to figure out that she wanted to see the kids. So at that time she wasn't doing too well. So, and this is after like 8 years of dealing with my brother's BS and then trying to kick him out. And then she would let him back in, right? So this whole time I'm trying to regain her to see the grandkids, right? And so November rolls around, and they had been babysitting the kids and seeing the kids, and at this time I had the kids a lot more. She came over, I cooked Thanksgiving, the whole Thanksgiving thing in a 500 square feet apartment with 6 people in there,
No, fine.
right? And so we kind of exchanged stuff, and then, she helped us go shopping and all that stuff to get this table that we have and some stuff, and she's a good support system. And then December, I did Christmas dinner, and then after that, it was just kind of, she didn't call. It was weird. I don't know that. So like after Christmas, she called for like that week, and then I tried calling her, and the phones wouldn't. It was weird. The phones wouldn't work at all. Like they were shut down. Like my brother had turned them off.
Cell phone?
Yeah, because I called the company and I'm like asking, and the cell phone, and the service is still on.
Yeah.
My brother had purposely shut the cell phones off for the 2 weeks. I couldn't get a hold of anyone. I drove by and no cars were there, so I thought they were gone. And I'm like, that's
What
strange.
happened?
After that day, 2 days later, she died.
Oh my god, your fucking brother.
Yeah, and so we did an autopsy. The family paid for an autopsy, and the autopsy place said it was inconclusive.
Fuck.
They did 2 separate and said it was inconclusive.
You didn't tell me that.
So we still, to
Don't
this
know.
day, we don't know. But she
Maybe-
died under she didn't have COVID or anything.
Maybe it's just natural cause, no? Yeah, inconclusive, nothing with her health.
The only thing they said was a heart attack, but that could be induced by
Things.
chemicals.
Stress,
Chemicals. We don't know still to this day.
Even the blood talk didn't show anything?
The blood toxin was inconclusive.
What?
Yeah. So
Who saw her body? Your dad.
my dad woke up because she was saying that she couldn't breathe. She woke him up 4 different times in the night, and he was a really heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
And so he woke up and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die before you. I've got worse health problems," and she just passed during the night. And then the sure look of terror on her face. I'll never forget the look when I saw her body. I was at work at CTA. My dad calls me,
Yeah.
but my phone doesn't work magically, and it goes straight to voicemail. But my phone had full charge.
Yeah.
The ringer was
Your
on.
shit phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ringer was. It was working at that
Yeah.
time. The ringer was on,
Uh-huh.
but it went straight to voicemail without any rings. And then I get a call from my aunt. Where are you at? What the F's going on? I'm like, whoa, 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 what's going on? She's like, your mom passed, and she's freaking bawling. And I'm like, I get up,
You leave.
I leave work, and I tell everyone, you got to clock me out. I got to go, and I won't be back for what. And this is during the height of the pandemic, so I got 2 weeks off.
Holy
Then I caught COVID trying to get
Deal without
her.
it,
Yeah, and
yeah.
so I had to clean out the garage, which took me 18-hour days. For a week and a half, 18-hour days to clean out the garage.
Mhm.
And then so I had to do everything for Last Rites. I had to do everything for the accounts,
Mhm.
everything for my dad. Had to contact everyone. So I pretty much put on the whole funeral and emceed the whole thing myself and my
Nobody
mom.
helped you, huh?
No one helped me. I was a low man out on that one. And then my sister was trying to weasel her way in, and I kind of figured she would when my dad was in the past. But we won't get into that.
Yeah.
It's a different
Situation.
But yeah, that was kind of interesting to find out that my brother had gotten away with. So we devised a plan to
Was he there for the funeral?
evict him. It was for my
Oh,
mom's, but we
yeah.
evicted him for my dad so he can be moved up here to the high desert, and we've since secured everything to where he can't.
And you don't know where your brother is?
And no one knows where he's at. No one's had any contact with him. I've had everyone on notice to not contact him regardless, but there was an email sent from a third party to my brother about where my dad was buried at that point, so he can at least go see. There's been incidences where he's threatened to kill family members if they showed up to a funeral, so we just couldn't allow him to be at the funeral.
Yeah,
for my dad.
no, I don't think it's a good
So,
idea.
yeah.
So he doesn't know where you live either.
As far as I know. We haven't got any knocks on the door, have we?
You
Have we?
know we're good.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
just kind of a...
interesting.
So that's kind of the process of where life has led me at this point, and then getting railed again, and
Losing
Child-
our jobs, first
then
of
child
all.
support
Child
again.
support
She
was-
reopened a case that's fraudulent in a different name that she doesn't have anymore,
He's trying to work on it right now.
and they're dodging my call right now, and seems like the county decides that they can do whatever they want illegally, by the way.
Illegal, take a shot,
Illegally,
ding, 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 ding.
by the way,
That's
and get away with
illegal.
it. So, it's one of those things where you're just damned if you do, damned if you don't, especially with child services.
You've had like a really shitty last year or two.
4 years.
Minus the child support shit. At least you had your parents in the last.
Oh yeah, it was okay. Like, it was great to have them, but there's nothing like losing both parents back to back in a year.
Yeah. You're getting
It's a
really
great support system though. Like,
Yeah.
your parents are there for every step of your life, right? They're
Grandparents.
there for everything, and then, you know, it's kind of like, oh, jazz hands have been taken
All
away
of a
from you.
sudden.
Oh, and then we're just going to dump on you. It's just going to pour on you.
This is true.
Yeah, so I've had a really, probably horrendous 3 years now.
Have you always been close to your parents?
Yeah, I've always been close
Okay,
though.
so
It's
that's
been
good.
super close, and they've always been married, so
And they've always been supportive of you.
for everything.
Okay, see, that's good.
But the thing that I couldn't stand was enabling
Yeah.
the youngest.
Definitely.
But I mean, that's not my choice. That's
It's family
my
dynamic.
mom's made a decision on that, which.
Which shows she's really kind. She really loves her son.
Well,
her
that's
children.
to a fault,
To a
right?
fault.
Yeah, but
That
I
wasn't
think that
good.
what's what made her an angel over
Mhm.
anyone else.
That's true.
If anyone's an angel, that woman's an angel because
Mhm.
she never said anything bad about anyone.
Mhm.
I've never heard her say, not even a
Anything.
single word bad. So she was
That's
more,
good. She's really
she's
good.
more angelic than anyone that I've ever known in my
That's
entire
really good.
life.
That's good.
And she didn't go to church. She didn't believe in it.
Oh,
She
good.
thought that was condescending.
Wow.
church.
Take a shot.
And she
Condescending.
thought that was condescending.
Wow.
She would tell me all the time.
She's not religious, but she was like a good person regardless.
Mhm.
Click any bells? Click any
Two,
bells?
because I said it twice.
Any bells there?
She actually believed that you could get closer to the Creator having a general sense of being moral fiber
Yes.
and understanding of how life really is and then treating people a certain way.
That's how
Yeah.
it is.
I know, but I'm very jaded in my sense of
Ryan is
direction.
very jaded. It's funny that your mom's that wise.
She was the nicest person
and
anyone's
you
ever
are
met.
losing it.
Constantly
You
now.
are like total opposites. Your mother is this saintly person, and you.
No, she literally, if anyone was a saint, that woman,
Your mom.
I've never heard her say anything
Mhm.
horrendous.
She's thinking like the kiddies loved her. They could have loved
Just
her.
the
Mhm.
the best person I've ever met is that woman. And then her dad
Mhm.
was exactly like her.
Well,
So
that's why.
he was the best person I've known in my entire life. And he taught me so much about mechanics and manual labor. And he always would tell me, he said, Ryan, you know, manual labor will keep you honest, but it's the people that delve in money and deal with money all the time, you really have to worry about, because they'll go to the crossroads and make deals with demons.
Oh,
for
he told you that?
He would. He knew a lot.
He
Being
knew
in
things.
World War II and hitting a landmine
Oh,
in
yeah.
the South Pacific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
So it's just kind of like I've had very interesting life and death experiences. So
Yeah.
should I get into the
Don't mind me. Go.
death experience that I've had?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us.
So my death experience, I was 5 years old and we had just gotten back from Knott's Berry Farm. Well, they had the fake rifles that had the bolt action,
Yeah.
and they had the straps on them, right?
Yeah.
And they were fake straps, of course, but
Yeah.
they were metally screwed in.
Yeah.
Like, it looked like a real rifle, but a replica, right?
Yeah.
And at that time, they were all metal.
Mhm.
They weren't aluminum, they were metal.
Mhm.
You know, they were either tin or
Mhm. Whatever.
whatever they used at
Metal.
that time back in the
Mhm.
80s, right? So we had this A-frame, aluminum and steel
Swing set.
swing
Mhm.
set. And it was very pitched at the top.
Mhm.
And it was very sort of wide in the A-frame at the
Mhm.
middle.
Mhm.
And so I would used to go through it and act like a soldier. Well, one time I was wearing it, it was too close to the side of my neck, and it caught on the A-frame sideways, and it twisted me upside down like this, and I was hanging for about 8.5 minutes.
Like a
Now, if
noose.
anyone knows about how hanging happens, you have a duration from 4
8
minutes to 15 minutes that you can die,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
I was hanging for 18 minutes, and I'm sure the DMT was coming because I was seeing all sorts of colors
Mhm.
and bright lights
Mhm.
and faces and people talking
shit.
to me.
Mhm.
And my dad had 2 Irish setters that were personally trained,
Mhm.
and those dogs would do anything.
Mhm.
And so the only one, Sundance at the time, was a male dog,
Mhm.
and he saw me hanging
Mhm.
for it, and he
Oh,
was,
your dad. Your dad.
no, he came underneath my feet and propped me up enough
Oh,
to where after the 8 minutes I was able to
breathe.
somewhat breathe, not really breathe, but
Uh-huh.
somewhat get some kind of a
Mhm.
gasp going.
Mhm.
And Samantha, the other dog, I've never seen a dog tore through a screen,
Mhm.
and grabbed my dad by the leg, bit him,
Mhm.
dragged him out, and he
Mhm.
came running out,
Uh-huh.
got me up after 9.5 minutes.
You didn't tell me about the
Of
dog's
hanging.
helping you.
And then he got me off real quick. I wasn't breathing at all.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened after that because I went black.
Mhm.
I wake up and he breaks. I've never seen a man break metal
Mhm.
on his leg
Mhm.
and a solid wood.
Yeah.
So he broke the whole entire rifle,
Mhm.
right? The fake rifle.
Yeah.
And then I've never seen a man tear apart a swing set so quick. And everything was trash at that point. So
Holy shit.
he
Mhm.
kind of went over a lot of things, and then they had to take me to the hospital and
Mhm.
stuff to see if I was okay.
Mhm.
And I don't remember too much after that, but
Mhm.
it was a big blur, and I'm sure the DMT kicked in because my brain process now.
He's a weirdo.
Yeah, you would say I'm a weirdo, right?
Mhm.
I speak in riddles a lot, and I don't speak.
Ryan's experience, as people often will say about near-death experiences, they bring you closer to the other world. You gain gifts, a foresight,
Oh, you do.
because you just kind of enter another realm, being so close to death, whereas you weren't supposed to make it. Your life and your world, and maybe perhaps the DMT kind of unlocks a lot of things in your
I think
brain.
DMT too, right? It has
Mhm.
a lot to do with unlocking a lot in
Yeah.
the brains.
It's the spirit molecule, and
Yeah.
it unlocks something in you, so you see more. And having had this experience so young, of course it's going to change the trajectory.
Well, I
of
think
your life.
that's the whole thing. At that young though, at
Mhm.
5, can you imagine having DMT process through your body at 5.
I hope the DMT always kicks in. Otherwise,
Why,
somebody's fucking
and
miserable.
sometimes it might not though.
It might
That's
not.
the other thing is
Yeah.
some people say they see sheer darkness, which is very scary,
Mhm.
by the way. The darkness is probably one of the scariest things about dying.
I think when it's a very traumatic kind of.
I think the
Yeah.
DMT probably kicks harder though if it's
Mhm.
more traumatic, so it
Mhm.
releases faster,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
We
that's,
didn't tell me about the dogs, babe.
oh, I didn't tell you about the dogs.
No.
No, I didn't say anything about that. I thought I did.
Maybe that's why you have a dog, like animals having a.
Well, yeah. Oh, apparently,
Mm-hmm.
your dog.